Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Off the Ropes with John and Josh. I am Josh.
And I'm still John.
And we are here with episode 18 of Off the Ropes. Now, this is not one of our typical episodes that you've seen over the last few weeks, few months here. This is an all breaking kayfabe episode. That's right. We're going to be talking news, and more news. It's going to be awesome. There's a lot of good stuff going on.
We've got the ups, we've got the downs, and we've got the breaking today.
We do got some breaking today. And then at the end, we'll talk a little bit of Survivor Series previews, what's coming up there, and what our thoughts are on
predictions.
That. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. All right, but speaking of breaking, now, this is not like that indie wrestler from the last episode who broke both his legs. This is a different kind of breaking. We got some breaking news that dropped literally, I don't know, maybe an hour or two before this recording. Okay, so Zelina Vega, you all know her. Some of you might love her. She has officially been released from the WWE. They gave her the Future Endeavors treatment. That's right. Now, the thing about this is I was looking into this. John, you had mentioned some stuff that she had done. She posted something about unions. She put out a tweet that said, I support unionization.
Yep.
If you guys know anything about wrestling, that's kind of a no-no.
It's a faux pas.
Yeah, it really is. However, the thing that I discovered while looking into this is that the release post from WWE, the official tweet that they put out saying she was released, came out 10 minutes after that tweet.
Yep.
Exactly 10 minutes after that tweet. Now, obviously, she didn't tweet this and then within those 10 minutes get fired. I have a feeling that she had already been released and she decided to tweet that because
you can't stop her at that point.
Exactly.
The Twitter handle might belong to them, but the Twitter account is hers.
Yeah. So like some people were like some people didn't know that part of it and they're like, oh, she supported union, so they fired her. I mean, maybe she had been outspoken about it behind scenes or whatever, but it had nothing to do with the tweet. I guarantee you that, because there's no way they would have had that all set. There's no way.
Well, like I said,
10 minutes now.
Like I said, the other thing is when I texted you earlier, she recently started an OnlyFans account. Now,
yes, yeah, I saw that too.
People are using OnlyFans these days as a sex worker platform. But I mean, that's not exactly always what OnlyFans is used for.
And that's not what she's using for, at least according to what I've read here. I don't have her OnlyFans. So I can't verify what's on her OnlyFans. So, but yeah, it says that she recently launched an OnlyFans under the name of Megan Minx, M-I-N-X. So if you are interested, there you go. And it says that it is for pictures of her cosplays, which there are. I know people who use OnlyFans for that.
Oh yeah, and I know for a fact she's been doing a lot of cosplay stuff recently. So I mean, it's definitely viable.
Yeah, absolutely. So John, give me your thoughts on all of this.
I mean, I gave you a couple of my quick thoughts about it when I dropped the news to you earlier. I'm really confused by it because, I mean, she was getting a real push. So she had to have done something big backstage that instantly they were like, we're not even going to give you a warning. You're done. Bye.
Yeah.
On top of that, I really hope this isn't going to affect Aleister Black. And for those of you who are like, why the hell would it affect Aleister Black? If you don't know and your head's that far out of the game, Zelina Vega and Aleister Black are in real life married. However, her being as hot of a talent as she is and as talented as she is, she's not going to be on the free agent market long. Either AEW or Impact will be picking her up. Mark my words on that right now. And they'd be stupid to let the ink dry on her firing papers. I mean, like I said, don't. Just pick her up.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you on that. I feel like another thing, because apparently she did some sort of video, I don't know what it was for, using her Twitch background that she had before, and with a message saying, see you on Twitch. Now, this is something that recently the WWE said was you couldn't do it anymore.
Nope.
All third-party apps had to stop.
Yep.
Now I don't know if she fought back about that, and that's what the whole unionization thing is about. I have a feeling there was a lot of backstage stuff that she wasn't happy with the way that they're treating their talent, because they treat them as independent contractors, not as employees, so that they can get away with treating them not as well. So yeah.
And it's with that I feel like, and like I said, I know it's a faux pas, but I feel like that's one of the reasons why unionization in professional wrestling could be a dangerous thing for the promoter.
Yes.
And not so much the wrestler or the talent pool. Because I'm sorry, I've seen some of these guys get hurt, and I've seen some of the shit that they go through once they get hurt. I mean, for people who don't really know Josh and I's background very much, we have a friend in professional wrestling who he got seriously injured a bunch of years back doing a 630 splash in the ring and left him quadriplegic. I mean, the company picked up as much of the tab as they could on his medical bills, and people have reached out for him, but I know he's still struggling to this day.
Yeah.
Love Pat, but I mean,
Yeah, it's tough, especially on the indies.
Oh, God,
that's the thing. It's like WWE is not an indie. You shouldn't have to be fighting for benefits or for just being treated well in a company that size with that kind of money. You just shouldn't have to.
I absolutely agree. And one of the other things that bugs me is I know a lot of people don't know the shit that Josh and I do behind the scenes. So back in the day when like downloading was a big thing and like people were doing like 360 share and like all those wonderful things, I went on and I downloaded a virtual contract of like WWE, and I read through a lot of this stuff, and people don't realize the stuff that really comes out of their pockets unless you're one of the top guys like Orton or Hunter or Cena or Taker. You're paying for your travel, you're paying for your food, you're paying for your gear, you're paying for your merch. At least the merch that is like your main merch. I know like the merch that goes out, like WWE owns all that. You only get so much of a percentage back at that. Plus the royalties and stuff that like come in off of pay-per-views and stuff like that. And I mean, I don't know if like a lot of you guys follow this kind of stuff online, but people like Jericho have posted their royalty check pictures before. And sometimes those things are only for like 60 cents, 70 cents.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like it's much, people. So, I mean, the most you can do is if you're a fan of these wrestlers, find a way to support them that is benefiting them. Sometimes going to WWE and buying a WWE t-shirt, yeah, it's cool. You're following the fucking freedom of everybody else. But trust me, find a way, find out if they have an outside interest like Jeff Hardy has his music. Chris Jericho has his music. But I know other people like AJ wrote books. Mick Foley wrote books. Support them. If you can find out they're doing an autograph signing near you,
and I think that's a big reason why the WWE put a kibosh on these third party things, because they didn't want their talent making money where kind of outside of where they want. I mean, it's not just that, but I think that's a part of it.
I think that's a huge part of it.
They're making a name so to the point where they don't necessarily need the WWE.
Absolutely,
the WWE doesn't like that. They it's their thing or. Yeah, yep. So I think that's a big part of it.
Jeff Hardy's a perfect example. TNA let him use 3 different versions of songs that he created as his entrance music.
Yeah.
WWE's like, we'll get you a better theme when we get you a better theme, but you're probably going to have to wait.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean...
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to hijack that whole
little... No, it's cool, man. It's totally cool. It's a systemic problem. Not just in WWE, but WWE has made it, I feel like, the worst because like most of the other companies give more freedom to their guys, to their people.
Well, especially like some of the other companies don't mind like superstars going other places and doing other work at that. Yeah. Like I know AEW is getting a little bit more tighter on their belt. Like, okay, you're under our contract. You can't go to these other feds and fulfill your contracts or your obligations. We're sorry. But Impact for a long time was like, fuck, you want to go off and wrestle in Japan? Go wrestle in Japan. Just be here when we're filming our 6-month stint, and then whatever you do the rest of the fucking 6 months is all up to you.
Yeah.
I mean, that's one of the reasons why like Pepper Parks did so good over there. Pepper was fucking huge in like Buffalo, still is huge in Buffalo, but TNA didn't care. he trained like a bunch of guys who are now appearing on AEW and shit like that.
Yeah. No, yeah, absolutely. I totally get that. And I mean, the guy at the top of this whole thing kind of makes a lot of the decisions for a lot of the stuff, at least as far as WWE goes, and kind of sets the standard for a lot of that stuff is Vince McMahon. And apparently we are going to be getting a documentary about Vince McMahon coming to Netflix, apparently. Yeah, so it looks like 30 for 30 creator Bill Simmons, who also worked on the Andre the Giant documentary, is the one behind this. There's no date yet for it. It is being alleged that it will have one of the biggest budgets for any Netflix documentary in history. So, John, yeah, this is going to be a multi-part docu-series about the life and times of Vincent Kennedy McMahon. So, tell me your thoughts on a VKM doc.
Well, I asked you. You said it's going to have the highest budget of any other doc. I said, does that shock you? And you said, yeah.
No, sorry, I didn't hear what you had said. Honestly, no, it does. That doesn't shock me.
I mean, it's Vincent Kennedy McMahon. Of course, they're going to spend money on him. You know, other people don't even get documentaries who should have documentaries about him. But Vince McMahon, his budget's going to go way higher than everybody else's. And
it also makes me wonder how much the money of his own money he's putting in, how much control he'll have over this doc. And how real it will actually be.
How in favor of his persona it'll be.
Yeah, I'm interested.
Honestly, I'll watch it. I'll give it a check out. I mean, I have nothing against Vince. He's a smart businessman, and that
I have things against Vince, but that's a different podcast for a different time.
Let me say it this way: political stuff aside, I have nothing bad to say against Vince. He's a smart businessman, and he does what he has to do to make money. It's not always what's in favor of the fans. It's not always what's in favor of his workers, but he does what he's got to do. And that, whether it's good or bad, he's doing what he has to do to make his product number one. And right now, no matter what anybody wants to say, WWE is on top of all the ratings.
That's true. That's true.
I mean, whether you like it or you hate it, that's just who the fuck it is. It's WWE right now. And AEW is in close second, but WWE is still top dog.
Yeah.
It's sad but true. Back to the fact that the documentary is coming out. Like I said, I will definitely check out the documentary. I check out most of them. Whether or not it's right away or a month or so later, since this one will be on Netflix, it'll be a lot easier for me to check out. I might learn a thing or two about Vince. And so, I mean, it might be actually really cool to check out.
Yeah, I'm actually really intrigued by it being a series. So, it's going to dive deeper. But again, the only thing that I worry about is how much control he may or may not have over this thing and how watered down it'll be.
That's true. I mean, only time will tell, man.
Yeah. So again, like you said, I mean, no matter what, I'm going to watch it. I'm going to see what we see, and we'll be talking about it right here on the show. No,
absolutely.
So. All right. So for our next story, I'm going to talk a little bit about Mr. Matt Riddle. Matt Riddle recently underwent a name change within the WWE, but it's not like not a big name change, nothing crazy.
Change your name from Matt Riddle to like Matt Riddle. I don't know. I got no.
It's just Riddle now. Just Riddle.
We had an R on that, and he could be the next DC comic book live action villain.
It's like Cher. Whatever.
I mean, they've been doing this to a lot of guys, though, and then they change it back, like, not much after that.
Yeah.
Mustafa Ali for, like, a good, 3 months was just Ali.
Yeah. Weren't they calling Braun Strowman just Braun there for a while?
Yeah.
Like, when he came out, that's what it would say. Who?
They did, and then after a while, they just called him Strowman.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Strowman's on his way to the ring.
Yeah.
And I don't know if we have this on the list to talk about, but since I mentioned it, I'm going to kind of weave it into this story as well. Apparently, Mustafa Ali went on a huge rant that apparently his name's been being pronounced wrong.
Yeah, it's in the list. We'll get to that.
We'll get to that.
We'll get to that. Now, as far as Matt Riddle goes, or just Riddle, whatever.
No, I'm still going to call him Matt Riddle.
Yeah, so will I. He apparently won. I mean, not apparently. It happened. I watched it on Raw. He beat, I believe it was Elias and Jeff Hardy in a triple threat match to become the fifth member of the Raw Survivor Series team.
Wow.
Now, yeah, obviously, I don't think either of us really care that much about his name change, but I wanted to get your thoughts on him getting put over the way he has been lately.
Well, I mean, it was straight out said like a couple months ago that Vince McMahon is high and mighty on him. Like, he wants to push Matt Riddle to be like one of the top guys.
Yeah.
I personally, I don't see the huge hype in Matt Riddle.
Yeah, I mean, he put on a good match, but
I will never take away his work ethic. But
yeah,
listen, hear me out in this way. I feel that Matt Riddle is nothing more than a modern version of Matt Hardy. Wow. I cannot believe I said that. Forgive me. Oh, my God. He is nothing more than a new age version of Rob Van Dam.
Oh, okay.
He's got the RVD attitude, man. He's all like, hey, man, I'm cutting this promo, yada, yada, yada. It's all about me. I'm Matt Riddle. I don't wrestle with shoes on. And then he goes out there, and he's good. Don't get me wrong. He's really good at what he does. But he reminds me a lot of Van Dam.
Well, that's because Van Dam was always high. and I don't know if Matt Riddle's high or just pretending to be high, but I think that's probably RVD was definitely always actually high. I'm just
absolutely.
saying. 100%. Like,
he was 420. He never denied that, though.
No, absolutely not. And like, I don't know if he's trying to be like that, if that's kind of the route that he was choosing to go, or if it just happened to be that way. Yeah, I don't know, but I'm not the biggest fan of his gimmick.
I mean,
whatever.
From what I've been told, and this is just what I've heard through the grapevine, it's not really a gimmick with him. It's really who he is.
Oh, really?
I've heard he's just really laid back, very chill. Kind of like Jimmy. Remember Jimmy the Hippie?
Yeah.
Think Jimmy, but like really more mellow.
Okay.
Like, at least Jimmy knew when to turn off the hippie and like kick some ass.
That's true. Jimmy the Hippie, for those of you who don't know, indie wrestler out here in the Western New York, kind of upper Pennsylvania area.
Oh, yeah. Check out his work on YouTube if you get a chance.
Good
Pro Wrestling
stuff.
Rampage. He's been down in it's been a few places. He's really good.
Yeah, he is. He's really good. And like, you wouldn't necessarily think it, just kind of like just face value. But dude, when he's in that ring, man, he knows what he's doing.
He is. Jimmy, man, we miss you.
Yes. All right. So probably not. So we got another, one of the newer faces of the WWE, like a Mr. Matt Riddle, not been around that long. But we got the return of Jordan Devlin, the real quote-unquote cruiserweight champion. Devlin went out due to COVID back in March. He was the cruiserweight champion at the time.
Yep.
Then WWE announced that they were doing that big tournament. It was right around the same time that all those people got let go. Drake Maverick was one of them, and he was still in that tournament.
Yep.
But the tournament, and they stated this when it happened, was to crown the interim cruiserweight champion, which essentially means temporary.
Yep.
So the tournament was eventually won by Santos Escobar, who still has the title. So I don't know. Like, I didn't watch NXT this past week, so I don't know if anything anything changed as far as that goes. But
now, here's a question. Was it actually won by Santos Escobar, or was it won by Phantasmo, who then took the mask off?
That I'm not 100% sure. Just the article I'm reading just says the tournament was eventually won by Santos Escobar. So,
if I'm because I'm not fully familiar on it, I think he won it with the mask on, and then he masked. I could be wrong though.
I guess it doesn't really matter.
No, not really.
Still him, but so my question to you, John, do you think that Santos should relinquish the title? Devlin should be reinstated as the champ? Do you think they should have to fight for it? Or do you think Devlin should have to earn his spot again? What are your thoughts?
I will say this, and this is just because I like playing fantasy booker. This is what I do. I don't strip
King Booker.
King Booker. I do not strip Santos Escobar of the championship. I do not give the championship right back to Devlin because both of those men are rightfully deserving of the belt. Okay. But at the same time, I don't remember who Escobar has been fighting lately, but he has been working a program with a couple guys who are, in my opinion, deserving of the championship as well. Okay. So I'm saying we redo what they did a couple months ago for the Intercontinental Championship. Take the Cruiserweight Championship, put it high above the NXT ring, and let any of the cruiserweights go at it who want a shot.
Okay.
I'm not saying be unfair to Escobar and Devlin, but I'm saying that there are a bunch of people who are deserving of that Cruiserweight Championship, including Drake Maverick.
So are you talking like an open challenge ladder match kind of thing?
Absolutely.
Dude, I kind of dig that.
If you have a Cruiserweight Championship, a possibility, then you can sign your name on a piece of paper and you can enter in a chance to win that belt.
Dude, I kind of dig that idea. I dig it a lot.
I know that's not what's going to happen. No. They're probably going to make Devlin fight Santos, and it'll come down to one-on-one, and everybody else who's been in the hunt for that championship is going to get pushed aside again. And I'm sorry for that, but that is exactly what I would do. I would put that Cruiserweight Championship above the ring and let anybody who wants it go for it.
Yeah.
As long as they're within the confines of the weight, the 205.
The 205 thing, yeah. Yeah, you know what? I'm in for that. And I love Cruiserweight stuff, so I think that would be a fantastic event to watch. You know, just have a full Cruiserweight event.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
I mean, they did that. They did that like a couple years ago. They did the Cruiserweight. It was like a Cruiserweight Invitational.
Yeah, but that was a couple years ago. Like, let's get that go. Let's have a Cruiserweight event every year.
You know what? What if they did something? So NXT's been talking about bringing back World War III for a while now.
Okay.
So why don't we bring back World War III and you have a heavyweight, a women's, and a cruiserweight? That's three. 3-ring match setup where everybody in the women's gets down to one-on-one and it's for the women's championship. You do the heavyweight championship where it's all heavyweight males and the last one gets the heavyweight championship. And then you got one setup where it's going to be all nothing but cruiserweights, and that'll be for the cruiserweight. And I mean, I'm talking 3 rings for each of them, not 1 ring for women's, 1 ring for men, and 1 ring. I'm talking World War III, 3 different matches, 3 different championships. Boom! I said it right now.
So 3 rings, not 9 rings, because you want them all to happen separately.
Yes.
Okay.
3 rings.
I was like 9 rings would be a little much.
No. It would just be 3 separate matches throughout the night. You do curtain jerk with one, do mid for another, and do main event with another.
Like what they did with Hell in a Cell.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
But I think World War III, where you have 3 different matches for 3 different championships, the big 3 for that show. I mean, 4 if you really want to put the North American in there. I mean, I don't care. Nah. I want to see World War III come back, man. That was 60 competitors, 20 people in each ring, and then everybody was down to 1 person in each ring. It came down to a triple threat in the main ring, and then the winner was the winner.
Now, if they were gonna do a 4th, the only one thing that I would want to see is the tag team. It's the only thing that would make sense to me.
Either, man. You could put different members of each tag team in different rings, and it can come down to whoever.
Yeah. I think that could be fascinating. Yeah. No matter what, I think bringing bringing World War III back would be a fan. I mean, they've been doing they did In Your House, they did Great American Bash, and then they just did Halloween Havoc. NXT has been doing all those old school pay-per-views. Why not? Why not bring back World War III?
Here's a twist on the tag team. Are you ready for this? You've got the 3 rings for the tag team. Each, like I said, different members of different tag teams in different rings. So it's variant. And then it comes down to 3 guys, obviously, 1 person from each ring, and you can have it be different tag teams. But, excuse me, when it comes down to the final ring and everybody moves into 1 ring, you bring back the tag team partners.
Ooh,
triple tag team match.
Yeah, I dig that. All right.
And at that point in time, you can even put the champions in the match, and that means there's a chance that the champions might not retain their titles that night, and they don't even have to be pinned to fucking lose their titles.
Yeah,
I'm blowing my own mind right now.
Yeah, you're getting. Yeah, I'm getting a little chub for this match. I want it right now.
I'm really sorry that I got us off track of our original topic. Though.
Nah, man, that's cool, man. I love this is a good flow. I'm really enjoying it. But so we talked about Jordan Devlin returning. So on the flip side of that, we have somebody else leaving the pro wrestling in general, and that is Kylie Rae. She officially retired from pro wrestling. A lot of stuff seemed to happen. We talked a bit about this on our last episode, I believe, when she didn't show up and nobody knew what was going on. And so apparently, she came out and she said some stuff. She talked a little bit about she having some kind of mental issues, some personal stuff going on, and she has decided to retire from wrestling. And I get it. As someone who deals with mental stuff, it can be very difficult.
Overwhelming.
To even do your just normal everyday things.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I get it. John, what are your thoughts on this?
I'm really sad. I think there's a little bit more to it behind the scenes that isn't being talked about.
Yeah.
But it's a sad loss for professional wrestling. I've watched a lot of her work on the indie scene. She's really talented. Yeah. Well, this is a real hit to I really don't have a lot of words for it. It's going to be a sad loss.
Apparently she came out and talked a bit about some of the reasons, not just the fact that she's having mental issues, which a lot of people do, especially nowadays, but some of the reasons where some of that came from. And apparently there have been a lot of fans who have been body shaming her, telling her to get into better shape and things like that. And it took a toll on her. So what are your thoughts on stuff like that? I hate personally most of these people are in far better shape than I'll probably ever be in my entire life. Absolutely. And probably better shape than most of these trolls on the internet who rag them for their shape.
So I feel bad because there's one person I always pick on for their body in professional wrestling. And I body shame her. I don't care because I'm a big guy and I know it's not right, but I still do it. So I feel bad for people who body shame.
And I've yelled at you for it before.
You have. Notice though, I don't ever make fun of people like Otis though, who they own their bigness. But we'll get to her later because I know she's on the list. I feel bad for Kylie Rae at this point though because I know body shaming has been a big thing. I know one of the other big things that was really bugging her for a while because she addressed it in a couple of interviews. She's tired of people comparing her to Bayley. Because a lot of people were like, "Oh, she's Bayley 2.0. Oh, yeah. She's got this hugger gimmick." She didn't though. She was just the over exuberant "Hey, I'm professional wrestling. What's up?"
Yeah, it's she's just a happy person. Just because you're a happy person doesn't mean you're Bayley.
Absolutely. And she had a totally different gimmick than Bayley.
Yeah.
It's not like she was completely ripping off her gimmick with the wacky waving arm inflatable tube guys. No, she was just out there doing her shit. And she was happy doing it.
Yeah.
And honestly, I thought Kylie Rae had something that Bayley didn't bring to the table when Bayley was doing her best friends gimmick. Let me hug you.
Yeah.
I watched a match. I don't remember who put it on, but it was Orange Cassidy versus Kylie Rae. And let me tell you, if you haven't seen this match, go on YouTube. It's on there for free, full match. And if you do not understand her gimmick better, or his gimmick for that matter, then you don't understand professional wrestling. Because the two of them work extremely well together. And she was a hardworking piece of she's a talent, man. She's talent. AEW had all their eggs in the basket behind her from day one going, this is going to be the face of our women's division. You don't just start a company, hire somebody and go, maybe they're going to be the face of the division. And I mean, that says something about her. And then for her to have the issues she had and leave AEW and then show up in Impact and then disappear on Impact, that says a lot, man. You don't go from the freaking greenest pasture you've ever walked through to the fucking rundown Quickie Mart and go, let me put on a show in bingo halls again just because that's what you want to do.
Yeah.
There's clearly something else going on behind the scenes.
Yeah, no, I agree. So I hope that she's able to get any help that she may need, because mental problems like that can take a big toll on you, and you don't want to just let it kind of go. So I hope that she can find whatever help she may need.
I hope. I mean, if Kylie Rae is able to be tweeted at, somebody tweet her to join my group, fine, on Facebook, and we'll give her as much peer support as we can give her. We will build her a foundation that is so rock solid, because mental health in today's society needs to be addressed.
It's true. It's true. All right. So we're going to move on to our next story, and that is about somebody named Tyson Fury. Now, I'll be totally honest. I didn't know who the hell this was.
All right. So let me leave this.
Then I had to do it. Like, I had to look back. I was like, oh, okay. I don't. Okay. So, John, you give a little bit of backstory to this person real quick.
All right. So remind me of the event. It was Crown Jewel, right?
Yeah, I believe it was Crown Jewel of last year.
It was definitely last year. So Crown Jewel of last year, Tyson Fury, professional boxer, was brought in to fight Braun Strowman. And everybody scratched their heads and went, who the hell is Tyson Fury? Especially if you're a professional wrestling fan and not a boxing fan. You don't know who the hell Tyson Fury really is. No, he's Conor McGregor. So WWE,
you say Conor McGregor, I'm like, oh yeah, I know who that is.
Exactly. WWE, and by WWE I mean Vince McMahon, got the absolute bug up his ass again that Tyson Fury is money and wants to bring Tyson Fury back to feud with Drew McIntyre. Yes. And apparently, they're talking about making this a possibility of a title match at the same time.
Yeah, they also were planning a special WWE UK pay-per-view in which this would happen at. Yep. And it would have happened if not for the COVID pandemic.
Absolutely. Yeah. Now the thing is, the Tyson Fury Braun Strowman match wasn't horrible. And I can't really take away from it, but it's exactly what you would have expected from a boxer getting in the ring with a professional wrestler. At least Braun Strowman is a hard-hitting dude who can put up his own fight. Kind of had shades of Mayweather Big Show, if that makes sense for anybody who knows what we're talking about. Except for the fact that Tyson Fury stands face-to-face with Braun Strowman. He's a big dude. So, my thoughts personally, I don't give a shit about a part-timer coming in to fight somebody like Drew McIntyre. Now, I know how Josh feels about part-timers because we've talked about this. And you know how I feel about part-timers because we've talked about this. But Josh, the floor is yours, sir.
Oh, my God, dude. You know how you always say this? Well, I'm about to say this. Let me tell you something, brother. No, but seriously, I cannot stand most part-timers. There are a few out there who don't try to overshadow what's actually happening inside of the ring, but people like Ronda Rousey, Brock Lesnar, I cannot fucking Pat McAfee. Fuck these people who come from other... Now, I understand Brock Lesnar technically started in wrestling, but then he left for years and went off and did his MMA thing. And he wasn't a part-timer from 2002 to 2004. He was like a full-time wrestler. But when he came back, all he was a part-timer. And I didn't like him then. I still don't like him now, and I'm glad he's not around. Same goes with fucking Ronda Rousey. I hate her. Now, I felt that way about Shayna Baszler up until recently, but I've actually liked what they've been doing with her. They've really been... She's become, like, legit wrestler full-time. I like what she's doing. So I don't bash on her anymore because she's actually making the effort. Then this jackass Pat McAfee comes in. Right there. I talked about this last week. Right there. And now this fucking guy. Fuck you, man. Fuck you. Fuck you. I'll say it again. Drew McIntyre is one of the top people in this fucking company. And you're just going to give this fucking guy like a run at him? No. Fuck that. Get out of here with that noise. John, take it away.
I have one thing to say before I continue. And then I'm gonna quote one of the greatest tag team wrestlers ever. And that is, "Oh my brother, testify." Now, continuing on what you're saying, you completely fucking negated to mention one part-time wrestler who's come back in the last couple of years.
Who?
Goldberg.
Okay, yeah.
And now,
that's true.
Whereas people coming back part-time, at least Goldberg coming back part-time made fucking sense because WWE finally realized something with Goldberg, and that
Goldberg coming back didn't bother me, and that's probably why I didn't mention it.
It's because they finally capitalized on his positives. Give him shorter matches that make him look strong, make the match make sense, and Goldberg looks fucking good.
Yeah. I mean, there's plenty of part-timers that are like The Rock, John Cena, The Undertaker. All dudes who, you know what? I'm totally cool if they come in, work a program, and go away. That's fine with me.
Because I know we don't really have this on the list of things to talk about. Well, it is, but it's not. We'll get to that when we get to that. Remind me about part-time things when we talk about Survivor Series, because I want to talk about something else.
Okay.
I can kind of loop it in here, but I feel like it's out of place here as much as it is. But I don't like part-time wrestlers, but I understand people like, I know you don't like them. I understand guys like Pat McAfee, though. Pat McAfee wants to get out of the profession he was in and transition into professional wrestling. So in my eyes, yes, he's getting a hard push right now, but honestly, Pat McAfee behind the scenes has been working his ass off for this. It's not like he's just like,
I get that. I get that. The problem that I have is they make him they utilize his gimmick to disrespect wrestling. And I understand that's what they're going for.
Yeah.
And he's supposed to be a heel, but there's a difference between a heel and an asshole.
Yes.
A big difference.
Yes. And I agree on that.
The way that he acts in ring makes me not give a shit about anything he may do behind the scenes.
No, and that I understand. Like I said, though, I take him into a little bit of a different caliber due to the fact that he is really trying to work his ass off to beat somebody.
I get that, because he actually is decent in the ring. Like, he's actually shown that he can hold himself, and that's cool. I dig
now,
that.
like you said, though, guys like Brock Lesnar, though, who show up and then they're like, this is my list of demands. Make at it, peasant.
Who has the title for 3 months and never defends it. It's like, go fuck yourself.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it's that shit there that I'm just kind of like, I'm like you on that one. I'm like, well, fuck you. Why am I going to want to watch you then? And
it's like, speaking of Lesnar and that whole thing, it brings me back to something I saw on Raw, and that was Bobby Lashley, who hadn't defended his title in 2 months.
The U.S. title?
Yeah. 2 months.
I don't even think I realized that.
Titus O'Neil came out, called him out on it, and challenged him to, like, he essentially demanded a title match. And he got a title match and got squashed. And this is giant Titus O'Neil. This dude is huge.
I was going to say, he's bigger than Lashley.
And there's no reason why they shouldn't have been back and forth, even if he lost the match. No, he got fucking squashed. And I'm like, I hate Bobby Lashley because they're turning him into Brock Lesnar.
Well, I mean, that was originally his thing when he first came in. He was supposed to be the next Brock Lesnar.
And he wasn't very good then, and to be honest, he's not very good now. Just saying, but any final thoughts on part-timers before we move on?
No, I've pretty much said it over and over again. I can't strongly disagree with them more.
Okay. So we're going to move on to our next story. This one's a little bit funnier, I think. Carl Anderson accused of cheating on his wife. By his wife, specifically.
Not even just cheating on her, by her.
Carl Anderson's wife recently posted some stories on Instagram where she called out her husband for cheating. She also referenced how alcohol was a factor. Then she posted a story on Instagram where she revealed a text message sent to her by Anderson where he called her a slut. And if you look up, you can look up the story and see the actual message and everything. It's like, dude, really? Like, what the fuck?
I didn't know where you were going with that. I thought you were going to say, look up the definition of the word slut.
No, but I do have a picture here that I thought was pretty damn funny.
Oh, that's some classic fucking shit right there.
And that right there is what you get when you cheat on your wife. I'm just saying. Don't cheat on your wife and then fall asleep in front of her. I'm just saying. He's lucky she didn't cut his dick off after that. Dude, come on, man. So, John, what are your thoughts on this?
I mean, you said it, man. First off, don't cheat on your wife. I mean, that's some shitty shit. I know that professional wrestling is a very lonely business. I know that a lot of guys, there's ring rats out there. Just what the fuck are you thinking, man? You are, and especially because his wife is a very beautiful woman, and they had kids. I mean, come on.
If you're not happy, then leave. If you're not happy, then leave.
Yeah, and I mean, I completely agree with Josh on that one. I would die for the opportunity to have that fucking life where I had a woman at home who was dying to see me and shit like that, man. Like, I would love that opportunity.
Yeah. No, I agree, man.
Here's fat old me fucking sitting at home recording a podcast with my brother because I don't have a fucking life.
Oh, that's too funny.
And since we're talking about it, let's address the whole ring rat situation. You can put a rat in a ring, but you never put a ring on a rat. Remember that.
It's true. It's good, solid, sound advice coming straight to you from Mr. John.
I mean, that was taught to me by somebody else. I won't mention their name because I know for a fact they were messing around with rats. But I mean,
did they ever put a ring on it?
Nope. But they put that rat in the ring. Now she's one of the best managers Rochester's ever seen.
Boom.
Oh my God. It's a good thing that a lot of our friends from the indie scene do not listen to our podcast because they would know exactly who I was talking about.
That's probably true. That is probably true. All right. Well, you know what? We're going to end this story with one final thing.
Oh, my God.
Oh, good stuff. Good stuff. All right. So it looks like WWE Thunderdome reported they finally put out like a banned list of things that aren't allowed on the Thunderdome. Yeah. And the Young Bucks responded with some new merch to go along with it. So
they did. It was pretty clever of them too.
It really was, man. Now, some of the stuff on here lists, obviously, AEW and its various stars are on the list. Apparently, so Kenny Omega, John Moxley, MJF, Tony Khan, both Cody and Brandy Rhodes, the Young Bucks, Vicky Guerrero are all on this list. Impact Wrestling, New Japan, Marty Scurll, who I'm not honestly sure who that is.
He is one of the Bullet Club members.
Oh, okay. Former wrestlers like CM Punk, Alberto Del Rio, Ryback, Jim Cornette, and superstar Billy Graham, as well as deceased former wrestlers like Chris Benoit and Ashley Massaro, apparently have all been used and then put onto the banned list. So, first off, John, I just want, before we get into the second part of the story, what are your thoughts on the amount of things that they refuse to allow people to, like? I kind of understand why, but do you think they're going a little overboard with some of this stuff, banning people for stuff like that? What do you
honest opinion, no.
Okay.
It's going to sound bad because I completely understand why WWE does it. They do it the same reason why most people would do it if it was their company. You do not want to advertise another person's product. You want to advertise your own product. With AEW coming up in the ranks as the second in command or like the second best company that's out there, you can't take the risk of promoting their stuff. Now, granted, a lot of the people who are over there used to be WWE, and I know that there's like the whole negate. I can't call it negating, but like, you know, you were a WWE star, now you're an AEW star, you're the enemy. But I mean,
like the fact that Cody, who was pretty big in WWE when he was there, is on the banned list.
Yeah,
for that guy. Yeah.
I mean, he's partial owner though in AEW, so I mean, it makes sense.
Here's my question: what if Cody went into the Thunderdome? Not a picture of Cody, but Cody.
Actual Cody.
Yeah. Would they ban him? Would they be like, no? Nope. You know what I mean?
So here's my question to you. Okay, so and I'm going to put this in different terms because I know you've dealt with this kind of situation before. So you work for the Pepsi Corporation, and you're out on the road, and you're like one of the head CEOs, and you stop by a store where you know one of your guys is delivering. Do you want to see a Coca-Cola can in his hand?
I mean, I get it. Yeah, no, I get it. That's why I prefaced with like, I get why they're doing it.
No, I mean, I'm trying to just, for other people who might be listening, who might not understand where I'm coming from, I get why WWE is being like, hey, But at the same time, it reminds me of about, I don't remember when it was. I want to say it was about a year and a half ago. WWE sent out a cease and desist letter to the Young Bucks about using the Too Sweet. They weren't allowed to use the Too Sweet logo or say Too Sweet anymore. And they responded with a t-shirt then too.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. Well, as we said, they definitely responded to this with a t-shirt, and I'm about to put it up here on the screen for everybody to see. Look at that. Now these are the images that were used on the Thunderdome.
That's classic. I love that they're all pixelated, so like you can be
looks like an old 8-bit or like 16-bit video game. You know, like the old school. Yeah, it's like fucking Mortal Kombat where you got to select the character or whatever. Yeah. It's like one of those things.
It's also like when you used to download pictures online, but you had to wait for like all the pixels to fall in place.
Yep. They have goddamn dial-up over here.
Now, for those of you who like this shirt, you can go to AEW. I think it's just AEWshop.com. Pick it up. For those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, by the band Cease and Desist shirt, go check that one out. It was in the style of the Bullet Club, so that was really fucking cool. Honestly, it's one of the few I would probably pick up.
Yeah, very cool. But yeah, man, I would totally buy that shirt. I gotta say, I'm gonna bring it back up real quick. Look at that thing. I would buy that shirt.
I would probably buy that shirt. But like I said, honestly, for people who haven't seen the other one as well, go check out the other one. I know you can find it with a simple Google search.
A simple Google search. Are Google searches ever really simple, John? I mean, honestly.
Depends on what you're looking for.
Yeah, you definitely got to be careful with that because you never know what you'll find. But
are you looking for it right now?
No, I am not. I am getting ready for our next story, and that is about another AEW star, somebody who is on that band list, Mr. Cody. But now it's not just Cody. That's right. He has officially gotten his name back, Mr. Cody Rhodes. However, he says he will not be going by Cody Rhodes on wrestling television. He will still be going by Cody. John, what are your thoughts on first him winning, getting this case to get his name back, and the fact that he's choosing not to actually use it?
Well, I mean, I don't.
You sound very torn.
I am, because in retrospect, I don't think WWE ever should have kept the name. Dusty Rhodes was his father, legit father, not even like gimmick. It's not like Big Show and Andre the Giant. This was like legit his father. His father made that name. His father made that name synonymous with his family. And I just don't understand it. I mean, you can't just be like, oh, I'm sorry. Hey, you built this name, but we're going to keep this name. And I understand it was trademarked to them. But I mean, come on. The trademark ended.
But think about, like you said at almost the top of the show, you like how business smart Vince McMahon is.
Oh, absolutely. And
that is exactly what this is. It was 100% a business thing. He's like, I'm trademarking all these names because that means money for me.
Names, pay-per-views. I mean, you name it. Vince McMahon had it trademarked for a while. Yeah. Now, rumor also has it that they accidentally let Starrcade slip through their fingers, and AEW might be getting the rights to Starrcade.
Dude, that'd be kind of baller.
It'd be really funny because they just pulled out Great American Bash on WWE. Or no. Yeah. It was Great American Bash, right?
Yeah, it was NXT's Great American Bash.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
Yeah. I just told you yes.
Yeah. I'm just like, pay-per-views. We've done so many of them. My part about this is, though, I'm glad to see Cody's got his name back. It makes you wonder what he's going to do with it if he's not going to use it on TV, though. I'm holding hopes that it's just a swerve and something bigger is coming from the Rhodes family.
Maybe. But he was quoted saying, he says, I've gotten very used to the American Nightmare Cody. I like how Justin Roberts says it. I just like it. I've liked it for some time. He continued on saying, where I'm most excited about Cody Rhodes being available again is when it comes to third-party venues and things like Go Big Show. I don't know what Go Big Show is, to be totally honest with you, but something that he just took part in, so I'll have to look up what that is. It says the show that he was part of that's coming to TBS, apparently, and other projects like that, only because in our wrestling bubble, that's where we're all in. We're all family and part of all of us. Everyone kind of knows the saga of Cody Rhodes. So, you know, he wants it for things outside of wrestling, which I like. You know, let's say he does movies or TV shows. Instead of having to go by Cody Runnels or just Cody, he goes by Cody Rhodes, which I like.
But here's my question, and I could be wrong. Does Dustin have the right to the Rhodes name? Because
that is his name. His name is Dustin Rhodes. His legal name is Dustin Rhodes.
Oh, he changed it.
Yeah, I mean that's
what it used to be. Dustin Runnels.
Oh, I mean,
Terry. She became Terry Runnels.
I mean, he must have, because the thing I was reading said that his name is Dustin Rhodes.
Well, that's why I was asking, because I'm pretty sure in AEW right now he's Dustin Rhodes.
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah.
Well, that's why I was just confused. Like, I'll have to research that for the next time we do a record.
Yeah. Again, I'm pretty sure that his actual name, at least now, but I mean, like, again, I know that it was Runnels, but the thing I was reading said that his is Rhodes. But yeah, like you said, I'm pretty sure he's using that. So what would be like, why would now? Maybe it's because let's say that's not the case. Let's say he didn't change his name and his name is still Runnels, because I'm not honestly 100% sure. It could be because he didn't wrestle as Dustin Rhodes in the WWE.
That's true. He wrestled as
Goldust. But now, what I'm thinking is WWE probably had Cody Rhodes trademarked, not just the last name of Rhodes. I assume.
You know, that would honestly make a lot of sense.
Yeah. And it also makes me wonder, could he have spelled it differently and gotten away with it? Could he have spelled it Roads or Rodes or something?
You know,
gotten away with
I ask myself that kind of stuff all the time.
Yeah.
I'm searching Dustin really quick.
Okay. But yeah, like I think it's cool that he's got it back. I don't know if WWE just decided, okay, we'll just give it to you, or if they fought hard enough.
His legal name right now is Dustin Patrick Runnels.
Okay.
And he wrestles in AEW, is the natural Dustin Rhodes.
Okay, then it has to be a Cody Rhodes specific, like that, the full name kind of.
That would make sense, though.
Trademarked. Yeah. So, yeah, and again, Vince is all about making sure he's on top of everything. So it's not
Well,
surprising that
it
they do
doesn't shock me though that he would do that too, because Cody defected first.
that.
So
Yeah.
absolutely, I could see him trademarking Cody Rhodes just to stick it to him, knowing that like something like AEW is coming.
Yeah. No, yeah, absolutely. All right, so our next story, we're going back to the E a little bit here. Vince McMahon is apparently really high on a wrestler formerly known as Shorty G.
Oh
Now
my god,
known,
I love this that we're going to talk about this.
now known as Gable, aka Chad Gable. That's right. So, I mean, John, I'll give you a quick start here. What are your thoughts on Gable and his change from Shorty G?
Okay, so SmackDown last week. I mean, we can't see who's watching, but by raise of hands, who knows what happened with Shorty G last week on SmackDown? This guy. Well, he knows. He's not going to admit it, but he knows.
Who's
So
over?
G
Who's
last week
over on that
was
side?
the end of a loss, and not just a loss, like the quickest loss of his career. He got pissed. He took everything off, and he claimed he quit. Shorty G was done. So when they meet up with him backstage, they're talking to him, and they're like, "Really? You're quitting?" And he's like, "No, no, no. I didn't say I quit. I said Shorty G quit." And there is only one person who can stand back up and take what is rightfully mine, and that is Chad Gable. And oh my God, I'm excited for this because I got natural vibes of a young Angle in this promo where he's just like, I'm going to do what I'm going to do. I'm going to do things my way, the all-American way. And I'm like, gah! Yes! Let's push him to the moon. I texted you after I watched it, and I was like, oh my God, Josh. I'm like, watch this. What did you think?
Dude, I thought it was great. And when you said you got shades of Angle, I was like, dude, 100%. This kid, he's got something. He's got something special, and I'm actually really interested to see what they do with him. Now, my question is, are they going to call him Gable or Chad Gable? Are they going the Riddle route and just giving him his last name? I don't
think it really matters either way because, I mean,
No,
Kurt Angle was Kurt Angle for the longest time, but they just referred to him a lot of times as Angle.
Yeah, but it's all about what comes up on the screen.
That is very
come
true.
Out. That's what I'm just curious about. What will they officially be known as? It doesn't really matter because this dude is good, and I'm excited to see him.
As Chad Gable, so I guess we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, it's true. So I'm pretty interested.
I'm pumped for this return. I hated that they stuck him with the Shorty G gimmick, so I'm really excited to see what they're going to do when they let him just be himself again.
Apparently, Vince views Gable as a legitimate, genuine, tough guy, and he's looking to promote that part of his personality. Good. So, I'm interested to see where this goes and how long Vince will stay high on him because, as we know, sometimes Vince is a little wishy-washy when it comes to that.
Is this segueing into the next topic?
And we saw that happen with another WWE wrestler, the one, the only, Miss Peyton Royce. Apparently, she, obviously they had plans for her. They broke up the Iconics so that she could have her singles run. Vince was high on her. He thought that she had something there. Apparently, he changed his mind, as he does sometimes, and that is why you have seen Royce teamed up with Lacey Evans since the draft happened. So, I mean, John, what are your thoughts? I know that you're a big fan of Peyton Royce.
I love Peyton Royce. I think out of the Iconics, she was the breakout superstar. I think she has a lot more potential than Billie Kay to go the distance and be a future women's champion. Now, and I'm going to start referring it to this, so get ready for this. I think she can either be a WWE women's champion or a women's universal champion.
It should be called that, yeah, man.
It should be, and that's how I'm going to start referring it to it every time on this show. So our fans can get used to that. Sorry, that's how it's going to be, though. There is no genderification or brand split on the men's title, so I'm not going to do it to the women's titles anymore either.
Yeah, I mean, You're still doing the gender thing, but that's just because.
True. Okay, so should I just call it?
Unfortunately, they don't call it the men's WWE title. It's just the WWE title.
True.
So you kind of have to at this point. But I don't think that there should be a brand split because it to me, it makes the women's titles seem less legitimate, I guess.
That's true.
Yeah. So like, it's like you've got the WWE Championship and the Universal Championship. And then the Raw and SmackDown Women's Championships.
True.
It makes it sound lower than the fucking IC and US titles, for crying out loud.
It does, and that's why I don't like it. That's why I'm going to kind of change it in my own rights. I don't care if WWE picks up with it. I think they should be the WWE Women's Championship and the WWE Women's Universal.
Yeah, no, 100%.
I mean, if you're going to keep the women's part of it, at least keep the women's part of it. But I mean, at least give them the proper names that they should have.
Yeah, 100%.
Back to what I was saying, Peyton Royce has the potential to be the top tier women's face of the women's division or a women's heel. I mean, either way she goes, she can be one of the other. But if splitting up the Iconics was just going to lead to her ending up back in a tag team because Vince McMahon fell off his high and mighty, why not just move her back to SmackDown and re-tag team her up with Billie Kay? The Iconics are not just a tag team that was put together. They are a tag team that came up in the ranks together. They work well together. They play off each other very well. Yeah. You're not going to get chemistry like that out of just matching two people up all the time. And that really bugs me because Billie Kay and Peyton Royce are like best friends. And as you know, putting two best friends together in the ring can usually make the best chemistry.
Yeah, no, it's true. And the thing is, I have a feeling that Vince isn't really high on Billie Kay.
Oh, I absolutely don't doubt that one bit. And a lot of people aren't. But again, though, they just worked so well. And I don't mind Lacey Evans, but I'm over her as well. I just
you have stated that on the show a few times.
I know I have, and I try not to sound like a broken record on this show, but I mean, come on.
Yeah, but yeah, it bothers me that because like they could do a lot of good stuff with the women's division if I mean, look at AEW, how well that they work their women's and their tag team divisions.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, top notch. And those are the divisions that the WWE kind of lacks in my opinion.
Well, and if you look at the women's title picture right now, you look at the WWE Women's Championship and you look at the Women's Universal Championship, and you tell me, besides Alexa Bliss, Asuka, Charlotte Flair, Sasha Banks, and Bayley, who else has been a champion in the last year or two? Oh, Becky. I forgot Becky.
Yeah, don't forget about Miss
Becky. But I mean, they have full women's division capable of carrying the red and blue brand, and yet we're focused around 7 women.
Yeah. No, I totally get
stop doing that. We have potential talent. I mean, you got a full talent pool. Start fucking using them. Yeah. I mean, Rhea Ripley stepped up, and she showed you guys she was ready to step up to the top of the talent. She stepped toe-to-toe with Charlotte Flair and put on possibly one of the greatest women's matches we've ever seen.
Yeah.
I mean, at some point, you've got to start thinking Toni Storm's going to move up to the main roster. Raquel Gonzalez is going to move up to the main roster. You're going to start getting people like Candice LeRae up on the main roster. Are you going to keep circling the title around the 6-7 women that you are, or are you going to try starting to elevate tomorrow's talent? Because you can't keep focused, and it's the same with the men's titles. You can't circle the title within the same group of people and expect to build tomorrow's talent. And that is what WWE realized when people like John Cena and Randy Orton started taking back to today's talent.
100%. But you know what title they don't just kind of siphon between the same three people? 24/7 title. Just
24/7, 7-Eleven. Grand Slam, thank you, ma'am. Championship.
Yeah, dude.
You're right.
Dude, was because I think was it Raw when I was watching it? I was telling you about this, or they just had a match and it changed hands like 7 times in a minute or something like that. It was nuts. It was the craziest thing, man. It was hilarious though. But that is not a story that we're talking about right now. I just wanted to bring that up. But so yeah, so I don't know. I hope that Peyton Royce can get the love that she deserves. I don't know. I don't know if this teaming with Lacey Evans is going to get her anywhere, but I hope so. But that'd be disappointing. But I mean, maybe she could find herself a better home in like AEW or something if that's the case.
I mean, her husband's in AEW, so why not jump ship?
Yeah, there you go. You know,
you got to remember, in real life, she's married to Sean Spears.
Yeah,
formerly the Perfect 10, Ty Dillinger.
No, I'm just kidding.
He's not horrible.
I was just messing around. So for our next story, we're going to loop it back around a little bit to the Thunderdome. Apparently, the Thunderdome is now the award-winning Thunderdome. That is right. The Thunderdome apparently won the, let's see, what was it called? The Virtual Fan Experience of the Year Award at the 2000 Sportel Awards. I don't know what the fuck the Sportel Awards are.
Are these real awards? Do we have a fact check on this?
I do not have a fact check. But it says we are so okay. Who said this? Somebody said they are so incredibly honored to be recognized with 2 Sportel Awards. So yeah, I don't know. John, what are your thoughts on this? Let's see. WWE Public Relations said Thunderdome received top honors for virtual fan experience at this year's prestigious Sportel Awards. They even have a Twitter page at Sportel_awards. The Sportel Awards is an international competition recognizing excellence in sports video presentation.
All right.
There you go.
So, the Thunderdome. On a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being about a here, 10 being about a here, let me tell you how I feel about the Thunderdome. Let me turn that down. That's what I think about the Thunderdome. I have not liked the Thunderdome since it started.
Really?
I think
not at all?
Concept. Let me make my argument before you judge me at all.
Okay.
I think it's a great concept. It is essentially what Josh and I are doing right now, but you can't hear us. Instead, they're going to pipe in all the chants because they still want you to fucking suck a dick for whoever WWE wants to have you root for. They're going to pipe in the holy shit chants. They're going to pipe in the yes chants. They're going to pipe in oh my God moments. The only experience that you get is that you're going to get to see your face on the television. Oh my God. And I get it. Again, it goes back to that whole, how can we make money? Because people are going to see their face on the television and you're going to be like, oh my God, I need to have WWE merch while I'm on TV. And I get it. It's the ultimate fan experience right now. And that is what they are trying to push for, is that the fans still feel included while we're in this whole isolation process. And I will give them that. That is amazing. But nothing, and I can say this with full 110% backing from him, and I know this, nothing takes away from the experience of sitting in those seats. Having that rush and the chill that runs down your back when your favorite superstar comes out that curtain.
Yeah.
Now, quick side note, and this is because this is one of those experiences, and Josh can attest to this. We went and saw Raw one time live. And I mean like live. It was Monday Night Raw, live from Buffalo. And there was a moment in the night when Randy Orton ran through the crowd, jumped the barrier, and slid up in the ring and RKO'd. I don't even remember who he was in the ring with. I almost got ran down by Randy Orton. And I was like, oh, I'm going to go use the bathroom. And the security guard wasn't doing his job, and Orton ran past me right at that moment. And I almost got like pushed back into my seat. And I was like, oh, shit. Somebody just ran past me. And then Josh was like, Orton's in the ring. Orton's in the ring.
Yeah, dude. That was a great time.
That wouldn't have happened if I'd have been, sitting here.
Nothing beats that live experience. However, I actually like the Thunderdome as a at-home viewer. Like I didn't mind before having just the empty arena, whatever, but having all the people there, it feels like a full arena.
Yes.
And yes, I have complained about them piping in chants because it's like obviously it's not real, but the background audience murmur kind of noise that you hear that you don't get when it's just an empty arena is something I think that actually adds to the experience while you are watching.
Right. I completely understand what you're saying, though. I love the aesthetics of having the crowd back. I just hate the fact that there's not a better way to get the crowd reaction. Like, I understand that it would be really muffled or really distorted sounds. It would probably be a lot of overfeed as well, because you would have like general conversations of people being in their house, so you would hear all that. So it's easier to pipe in crowd reactions, but sometimes I don't even feel that the crowd reactions that they get are good crowd reactions. They sound really fake.
Yeah, like I said, I like the kind of constant murmur that you get. Like, you have a crowd because there's just always noise, you know. And when there's no crowd, it's just dead silence. So like, I like that because it makes it feel more natural, especially with seeing all those people, all their faces.
See,
but yes, it's those specific chants that we talked about when we talked about Hell in a Cell, where there were the "oh shit" chant. There was something else. Oh, they did a "you suck" chant. I'm like, really? Get the fuck out of here.
Yep.
Like, I get. So like, I understand where you're coming from too.
So, and see, that's what I like about discussing things with you, because there's a lot of stuff that we can agree to disagree on, but at the same time, we understand why the other one is where we're at.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and I also know the Thunderdome's coming to an end soon. That was a thing recently that got discussed, is that...
Oh, really? I didn't hear about that.
Yeah, it ends in like January.
Oh, okay.
And then they're going to start trying to do other things, like start trying to bring back in some like small live crowds, like AEW's been doing.
Oh, okay.
Trying to move around and see if they can't set up Thunderdomes other places.
Yeah.
But I'll believe that when I see that. As of right now, I know it's got a shelf life.
With the way that COVID's been spiking so far, we'll see.
Yeah.
highest numbers that we've seen all year. Almost 250,000 dead people.
Yep.
Yeah, it's getting wild out there. So we'll see if that actually happens. I'm shocked that AEW is still allowed to do it. So we'll see. We'll see. All right. This next story I thought was pretty cool. I know, John, you had mentioned it to me after I'd already seen it, but I thought it was really cool. The twin sons of Devon Dudley are set to make their AEW debuts on AEW Dark. So I thought that was really cool. Terrence and Terrell Hughes, known on the Florida indie scene as TNT, will make their AEW in-ring debuts. I believe it was this past Wednesday, this past episode of AEW Dark. And they faced Serpentico and Luther in tag team action. Now, I didn't get to see the match, so I don't know how well they did, but I thought this was really cool. They're young 25-year-old twins of, like I said, of Devon Dudley. And yeah, man, I'm pretty excited just to see what they got. What are your thoughts?
I'm laughing because I just realized TNT, Terrence and Terrell.
Yeah.
That is
I assume that was why they called themselves that. So
I realized I was watching a video this morning, actually, that it was Impact Wrestling. It was back before Aces and Eights. It was when the Team 3D was retiring, and Bubba Ray turned on Devon, turning him into Bully Ray. And in their retirement speech, Devon refers to his sons in their training, like his training. And he was like, one day, my sons are going to be the future of the Team 3D. And, I mean, sure as shit, here they are coming up in the ranks of tag team wrestling.
That's pretty cool.
I think that is very cool. Again, I'm with Josh. I actually didn't get to see AEW Dark yet. I'll probably check out highlights sometime this week. It's been a really stressful week for me. I really hope, though, they use the 3D as a finisher.
Dude, that would be awesome.
Like, I know it's probably cliche being the sons of legendary wrestlers, but I mean, Natalia and the Hart Foundation did it when they first debuted. They used the Heart Attack. Yeah. And I mean, We see family members using their family's moves all the time, and I think the 3D would be phenomenal. And maybe change it up a little bit, do something different with it, but who knows?
Yeah. I agree.
I hope that they stick around in the business, though.
Yeah, hopefully they do well and are accepted in and can kind of do what they're gonna do.
Dude, I completely agree.
Yeah. So, okay. So our next story, it's actually two stories that will kind of be working simultaneously with one another. Our first one, Tony Khan says AEW is working on multiple games. So, video games and things like that. Yeah. I know that we had talked before about some stuff, but apparently they are working on multiple. I know, like I said, they had revealed that they were working on a game, but now it's apparently multiple. So I think that is really cool. And just recently, their new upcoming console game has been revealed, which I'm pretty interested in.
Did you see who they got to sponsor it? Or make it, I should say?
I'm not sure.
Ukes.
Oh, yes, it is Ukes. Yes. Oh, wow. Wow, Ukes, man. That's good stuff.
I honestly, I didn't think to Google search this. I can't even remember the last game Ukes put out.
Oh, I don't know, man. It says here, former WWE 2K developer Ukes and WWF No Mercy director Hideyuki Geta Iwashita. I probably butchered his name. So that's cool. Kind of getting old school here with this.
I mean, the graphics look a little bit like early WWE SmackDown. Yeah, but I wouldn't expect them to come right out with a WWE.
During this, they did this special event called AEW Games 1.0 special event. Kenny Omega was on there. He unveiled some early gameplay footage of the game, showing himself and Chris Jericho facing off in the AEW arena. Man. I mean, again, Ukes. I think that's cool as hell, man.
Yeah,
I think that's cool as hell that they're doing this. The guy who worked on No Mercy, apparently he was the director, like I said, of WWF No Mercy for Nintendo 64 about 20 years ago, and so now he's getting back into the game, literally and figuratively. He's getting back into the game, and dude, I'm pretty interested in this. We've played some random wrestling games throughout our years, what was it? Impact or TNA had one.
Impact had one.
AAA had one. Yeah, yep. Some various backyard
ones. The Legends of Wrestling.
Yeah, so there's been some cool stuff out there, but with AEW being so big now, I mean, it was just a matter of time before they started pumping out things like games and whatnot. So
absolutely.
And I got a picture. Okay, here we go. We're gonna put up this picture. Here is some imagery of the graphics of Kenny Omega. Now it's not as crisp as what we see in the WWE games.
No, but like I said, for their first game, I mean, it's better than expected.
Yeah, I dig it. I mean, Omega's chest is a little weird looking, like the texture of his skin.
I mean, they're probably not using the same technology right now that WWE is. WWE is using full body scanning now.
Yeah. So I mean, I dig it. So I'm actually pretty excited to see where they go with this, how far they take it, and who might all pop up in some of these games. Yeah. So, all right. So our next story is about Mustafa Ali and his name. Todd Phillips has responded to some controversy over the pronunciation of Mustafa Ali's name. And it's actually not. I'm sitting here saying it the wrong way. Like, I've always said it the wrong way, apparently. And it's hard to kind of get away from that. And I'm sitting here telling the story, and I'm over here. It's Mustafa Ali. That's how you pronounce his name. I looked up the clip of Ali saying his own name, and it's how he says it. And so when Tom Phillips on air said it that way, apparently he got a lot of backlash from fans being like, "It's Mustafa, you idiot," and things like that. And then so he came out and replied, saying, I'm saying, Mustafa said this is how to pronounce his name. So I am respecting that and pronouncing it the way that he has requested it be pronounced. And I'll say, you know what? Hell's yeah. Because I don't know if I had missed that segment with Ali saying his own name or if it just kind of blew past me and I didn't even notice the way he said it. But yeah, 100%. And I'm going to try to pronounce his name correctly from now on. I probably will fail, but I'm going to try. So, John, what were your thoughts on this?
I'm in full supports. I mean, it's the whole supporting his heritage thing, man. Like, I get that. Yeah. I don't want to be disrespectful and butcher his name, so I'm just going to simply refer to him as Ali until I can get used to saying Mustafa, because I don't want to be disrespectful. Yeah. However, it does kind of remind me of when Fandango first debuted.
Yeah, Fandango.
Yeah, and it was Justin Roberts pronouncing that, and it kind of makes me laugh that it's kind of like a reverse situation. Yeah. And it was an accident that everybody's been calling him Mustafa Ali, and not Mustafa. However, it's going to be interesting to see where this goes, because now that like he's going to support his like background heritage, does this mean we're going to get like a deeper? I can't even say it because I'm going to come out extremely right.
Are you trying to ask? Are they going to dive into the stereotypical Middle Eastern kind of gimmick that they have done so many times with other wrestlers?
Yes, but maybe not push the Middle Eastern stereotype as far. But like,
because they have had problems with that in the past, and I hope they stay away from that.
But I mean, at least he's coming forward now and being like, "Hey guys, you've been pronouncing my name wrong all this time. It's actually Mustafa, not Mustafa." And maybe instead of like strapping a bomb to his chest and being like, "Ah!" maybe they'll like let him lead his organization and shit the way he should.
See, they never will. Vince is such a fucking D-bag when it comes to this kind of stuff.
Absolutely.
It's like, just let the freaking, like, I've literally said this now. I'm going to say it again. And this will be the third episode in a row that I will have talked about this. But they should have fucking put Retribution on fucking SmackDown and not put him on the same show as Hurt Business. Because then they could have flourished.
We have ran that ball into the ground, though, bro.
God. It's just so aggravating. So aggravating that they do this, but
I agree.
It is what it is. So we're gonna move on from somebody who doesn't win a lot to somebody who won a fairly big match recently. Woo! And that is a fairly new addition to the WWE, Mr. Leon Ruff. We talked about him a few episodes ago when we talked about the new recruits to NXT and the WWE that were coming in. He was one of these recruits. And then I'll be honest, hadn't really heard much of anything since then. I don't even know if he had been on doing anything since that announcement was made. But apparently they had a lot of faith in this kid because he went up against Johnny Gargano and won the North American Championship. Johnny Gargano just recently got that title at Halloween Havoc during whatever the fuck that match was. I don't even remember what it was called. It was that crazy ass match. Yeah. What?
So about 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. Dude, just I don't know, man. Because we literally talked about, I talked about Halloween Havoc on our last episode because it happened during that time frame.
Yep.
And now he does. I kind of feel bad for Johnny Gargano. So unless they're going to put him up, are they bringing him up to the E? You know what I mean?
Who knows?
Did he drop his title so that they could go? I mean, usually I feel like they usually do that with the main title, but maybe they're doing that with this title.
I mean, you can't really say that though. Keith Lee dropped both titles.
I know, but he had the main title.
I know.
So, because that's kind of their thing. You get the heavyweight title,
but he's in the middle of with Damian Priest right now. So maybe this is just a furthering of the Damian Priest storyline.
I mean, I guess, but it to me, it feels like they're shitting on Gargano. No, I don't really care that much about Gargano, but it feels like they're shitting on him, giving his title away, and then putting him in this feud that he's probably going to be losing a lot.
Probably.
I feel like they're going to be putting Priest over using Gargano.
Probably.
And you can't do, and I feel like it probably cheapens the title if the title holder is losing all the time.
That's true. But I mean, Gargano did have a good couple runs as like champions before.
Yeah, I get that, but it makes me feel like he's going the route of the Miz.
Yeah, I can see that.
You know what I mean? He was kind of top there for a while, and now he's.
In all fairness, you can say that same thing about Tommaso Ciampa.
Yeah, no, 100%, 100%.
Like Ciampa was on top of the company, and then he got hurt, and then now who's Tommaso Ciampa on NXT?
Exactly. Yeah. So it's disheartening when it comes to that. But what are your thoughts on Leon Ruff? Sorry, getting this title win.
I want to watch the match before I give my full opinion on him. Respectfully to him, I don't want to. Yeah. I think it's really cool that the WWE sees him as a value enough to put a championship on him in his debut, because that is very few and far between that ever happens.
Yeah.
The last time I can remember that happening was Santino Marella winning both the Intercontinental Championship and the United States Championship.
And you want to know what? He's not your typical wrestler, like looks wise. He's just not.
Yeah,
he's kind of short. He's kind of scrawny. To me, he looks like a slightly less buff, slightly shorter Kofi Kingston.
Yeah,
because Kofi is like he's a slim dude. You know what I mean? He ain't
Kofi
jacked,
really
but
ripped himself up from like who he
has.
To.
Yeah,
he's got a lot more definition in him now than like Kofi of like 06, 07.
Or someone that I mentioned to you when we talked about this off air. For anybody out there who ever watched WSX, that used to be on MTV way back in the day, there was a wrestler known as the Human Tornado.
Yep,
super skinny dude. Now this guy was really tall, so think a shorter version of that, and that's Leon Ruff. I'm just saying.
So we'll call him the Human Water Spout.
The human sprinkler. There you go.
He'll get you wet, ladies.
I mean, again, they must have some because doesn't Triple H run NXT?
Triple H runs NXT still,
and I feel like as far as talent goes, he's pretty on the ball with that. I mean, he finds good talent. So I'm gonna give this kid the benefit of the doubt until I actually see what he could do. So hopefully he deserves and has earned this title and can continue to earn it. We'll see, I guess.
We'll see.
All right, John. So our next story is about someone who you're not particularly fond of, who you said you were going to bring up later on, and that is one Nia Jax. It came out that she possibly legitimately injured Mandy Rose during an episode of Raw recently. If you watched the video, she chucked her pretty damn hard out of the ring, so hard that Mandy wasn't able to secure the ropes to kind of prevent her crash and burn, and it looked pretty nasty when she hit the side of the ring before falling off. So, John, I'm gonna let you take it away. What are your thoughts? Try not to be too mean.
I'm gonna keep it simple tonight because I have said this 1,000 times on this show. Well, not 1,000, but I've said it at least a handful. Take Nia Jax off television and stop letting her hurt people.
Yeah.
She needs, and at this point, this isn't a please, please, please. This is a she needs to be retrained so she stops hurting your talent pool.
Yeah.
Even
her tag team partner, Shayna Baszler, who comes from a sport where you legitimately hurt people, doesn't hurt people like this.
Nope.
Like I don't understand in her when she's essentially, in my opinion, just like Ryback.
Yeah. And I mean,
he was doing the same thing.
I'm honestly surprised she hasn't hurt Lana yet, putting Lana through announce table after announce table week after.
Dude, on Raw, they just did like a montage of all of them, and it was like 7 or 8 of them within like a week or two.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, Jesus, come on. Like,
and this is what I'm saying. This is what we're dealing with. It's Nia's not really giving this shit. Like, she's given the freedom to do this shit. She's hurting people. And I mean, I can't say freedom. It's part of what she's supposed to be doing, but you're hurting people. Stop. Like
you can look strong and toss somebody out of the ring without legitimately trying to launch them out of the ring.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it bothers me so much. And I hope that they do. I hope that they see these stories come out, they hear the fans' outcry, and they do something about it. They probably won't, but I'm hoping that they will.
A lot of people have taken the petition to take Nia Jax off TV.
So,
and like I said,
hope that it does, but
I'm not going to go into too much detail on it. I've said enough about it, but I would sign the petition wholeheartedly.
Yeah. No, yeah, I agree.
I really hope.
All right, so yeah, I hope so too, because it looked pretty gnarly, man. She landed right on her shoulder. It was real. It was real, not good, man. And shoulder injuries can mess you up. Like they tend to stick around. That's the problem with them. But all right, so we're gonna move on from a female wrestler that John's not a big fan of to a couple of female wrestlers that I'm not sure how John feels about them, but we're gonna find out here. The Bella twins have teased one more run in the WWE. Apparently, they were had an interview with Access Hollywood, and they said that they feel like that they have one more run in them, and they really want to go for the tag titles. John, what are your thoughts on the Bella twins, and would you how do you feel about possibly seeing them come back for one more run?
Well, we talked about this during the last recording, that there was the tweet about Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler with who wants the titles, and the Bellas put like the little emojis of the hands raised.
Yeah,
I'm not against them doing a return, but if they're going to do a return, they can't have the same shit that happened. Like, I think it was like a year and a half, 2 years ago. They were tried to make a return, and that's Brie looked sloppy in the ring. Nikki didn't. I mean, she had to change up her finisher because of her neck injury. But I mean, like, if the Bella twins are going to come back, you need to dip back into that Bella Magic twin magic pool, and you need to get back on the same page and look good. Yeah. No more sloppiness. No more trying to pull out shit you can't do. You need to step up your game, because there's a whole new, and I mean this with all due respect to the Bellas, there is a whole new talent pool of women, though, that you have never dealt with before, and they will put you in your place immediately.
Oh yeah, 100%. And I mean, I think I would be interested in seeing them have another run, but yeah, again, they need to be on top of their game.
Well, absolutely. I mean,
really make this work.
The last time that they fought the Bellas.
Yeah. So yeah, you know, and we don't want to see what's been going on with Nia Jax happen with these girls. So we want to make sure that they are good and ready to go when it comes to all of that. All right, so we have one final story for tonight. It does kind of tie in to what we're going to talk about after that, and that is The Undertaker. He has it's been stated that his final farewell will be set for Survivor Series. All right, so John, give me your thoughts on this.
All right. You ready to cue me up, bro?
And then we will launch into some Survivor Series stuff after that.
Okay. So cue me up, because let me tell you something, brother. I think The Undertaker's retirement in Survivor Series is the facade. Facade? What's the word I'm looking for?
A facade.
A facade. That's the word I'm looking for. It's all smoke and mirrors, guys. Because I think he's going to retire. But I think you're going to see something. And I was talking to Josh about this, and Josh was like, oh shit, that would be interesting. What if, and this is big, especially because I know what was said by The Undertaker. Undertaker said he would never do a boneyard match again. Never do one of those matches again. Because he didn't really like the cinematography. So what if that match we saw at WrestleMania was not The Undertaker's final match? What if The Undertaker is the last person to fill in for Survivor Series team, and The Undertaker retires where he debuted?
Dude, I mean, this whole thing right here is going to take us right into our Survivor Series talk. And yes, I think that would be awesome. Like, after you mentioned this the other day, and I had been thinking about it since then. And I actually really love the idea, because we had been back and forth saying, pretty sure he never specifically said he was retired.
I don't believe he did.
I don't believe those words came out of his mouth. I think he kind of alluded to it, that that it was pretty much done. But one final match, locking it up 30 years at the place that he started, ending it at the it's a perfect bookend. And he's obviously already going to be there because of doing his final farewell.
Well, not to mention, a Survivor Series match is the perfect way to go out, because you're not going one-on-one with somebody and hoping to get the best match of your career. You're surrounded by 9 other guys who are going to help make you look top-notch.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
And the 100%. Other 9 guys, I mean, they're not just this and that. They're some of the top guys WWE has right now.
Yeah. Yeah. And
so that
you give him that win, and dude, I guarantee you that will make that, granted, there's no real crowd, but any person watching it, it's going to be off the chain, man.
Well, not to mention, it'll boost pay-per-view ratings, because it'll be that moment of anything can happen as long as you tune in to the WWE Network.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. It's going to be crazy, crazy times. All right. So we're switching over to regular talk here.
Woo, woo.
Some Survivor Series action. So we pretty much just talked about our thoughts on some of that first Survivor Series match. But I'm going to kind of go through who's all in this. Now, this Survivor Series is an interesting one to me. It is a true brand versus brand event.
Yeah.
I don't know if you looked up the card at all, but you've got the 2 Survivor Series matches, which are obviously Raw versus SmackDown, 5-on-5.
Yep.
Every other match is a Raw versus SmackDown title or champion versus champion non-title match.
Yep.
Which I'm like, that's a really cool idea. So I just want to kind of go through these matches a little bit, talk a little bit about them, our thoughts and whatnot.
Last year's Survivor Series or the one before that?
Did they? Yeah, I don't remember. I may not have watched it, to be totally honest with you, because I kind of fell off there for a little bit. But
we all do.
Yeah. So we got Team Raw versus Team SmackDown in the men's elimination match. So we've got, for Raw, AJ Styles, Keith Lee, Sheamus, Braun Strowman, and Matt Riddle, or just Riddle, whatever you want to call him. I talked a little bit about this earlier when I talked about how Riddle became he earned that 5th spot. What I didn't talk about was on Raw, AJ Styles apparently is over here he deemed himself the captain of the team. And it's not sitting well with a lot of the other members. And so AJ thought it would be a good idea to have the four of them face off in a tag team match to help them build trust amongst one another. And so he teamed Keith Lee and Riddle together and Sheamus and Braun Strowman together. And all it did was just drive a wedge deeper and deeper in. Now, Keith Lee and Matt Riddle, they seem to be on the same page, but the rest, not so much. Sheamus wound up booting Braun Strowman in the face, and then wound up losing that match because of it. He got rolled up by Matt Riddle for a win there. Yeah, so I don't know why they're doing it this way. And actually, after our talk, now that I sit here and think about it, it kind of makes sense. If you're sowing all this division in this team, it makes you think, how are they ever going to win? So that if The Undertaker is actually on the SmackDown team,
which it makes sense because Taker was a Blue Brand guy.
So then it'd be like, well, that could be an easy way for fans to believe that Taker could wind up being on the winning team.
And Taker's already worked with a couple of the guys in this match, too.
Yeah. In Team SmackDown, we've got Kevin Owens, Jey Uso, King Corbin, and Seth Rollins right now. And like I said, a to-be-determined slot there. So,
like I said, I'm calling Undertaker.
I'm actually really hoping that you're right. I think it would actually be really cool. So then we got the 5-on-5 women's elimination match. Team Raw, we see Nia Jax, Shayna Baszler, Mandy Rose, Dana Brooke, and Lana. Interesting. Versus the SmackDown team, which now SmackDown is, for those of you who's a little behind the scenes, SmackDown is happening while we record. I mean, it's technically over now, but it was happening while we were recording. So yeah. I don't know if they announced any more people. If they, I just refreshed the Wikipedia page. It looks like they did announce somebody else for this match. So I'm glad I did that. But it looks like there are still two TBD members for the SmackDown women's match. So right now it's Bianca Belair, Ruby Riott, and apparently tonight they added Liv Morgan to this match.
Sweet. So the Riott Squad.
Yep. So any thoughts on who we might see in the other two spots?
Read off the three that they've already determined. It's the Riott Squad and who?
And Bianca Belair.
Definitely Carmella then.
Okay.
Mella just came back. She's on the hunt for the SmackDown Women's Championship. So why not put her in there just to get her back in the crowd's graces? And then
is Bayley SmackDown?
Yes.
So, I mean, I wouldn't be shocked then.
It could be.
I'm telling you, I wouldn't be shocked. You know, she's a big name. She doesn't have a title right now.
Nope, unless she's going to somehow, I don't know. I could definitely see it being Bayley.
Yeah, I think, because, I mean, it's not like she has a regular match because she doesn't have a title.
Yeah.
So I could see that. I guess we'll have to wait and find out. But, yeah, I think that could be interesting. And I've started to come around to Carmella lately because of this new character change. So we'll kind of see where I am yet to determine as to whether or not she is money.
Mella is money.
All right. So then we have 4, like I said, champion versus champion non-title matches. So we have Bobby Lashley representing Raw with the United States Championship versus Sami Zayn with SmackDown's Intercontinental Championship. Then we have the New Day of Kofi and Xavier Woods for Raw versus the Street Profits of Angelo Dawkins and Montez Ford for SmackDown. Then we've got Asuka for Raw versus Sasha Banks for SmackDown, and Randy Orton for Raw versus Roman Reigns for SmackDown, of course, being accompanied by Paul Heyman. So, John, first off, what do you think of the card? I don't know if they're going to add anything to it, but what do you think of the card, and Do you have a favorite that you're looking forward to?
I definitely think the Randy Orton and Roman Reigns match will be one
Dude,
for
that's
the.
it's gonna be fire. I'm predicting this right now. It's gonna be fire.
I'm predicting it's going to end in a disqualification.
Ooh, really?
I'm predicting right now it's not going to be the one everybody's expecting it to be. It's not going to be Jey Uso who causes the DQ.
Okay.
It's going to be Drew McIntyre.
Oh, okay.
Mark my words. And I'm going to extra layer that. Miz is going to tease the cash in it. Survivor Series.
Oh, okay. I like that.
So that's my double layer calling on the main event for Survivor Series.
Nice.
Now,
okay.
When it comes to Asuka versus Sasha, I mean, we've seen this match. This is a phenomenal match anytime you put those two together. They work well together. They know each other well. So I'm expecting we're going to get a great match out of them.
Yeah.
Bobby Lashley versus Sami Zayn. We saw that about a year ago, maybe a little bit less than that. So I'm not as eager to see that one again. But
I mean, I'm sure Sami Zayn will put on a good match.
I'm not saying that either one of them are going to put on a shit match. I think it'll be a great match overall. I'm just saying we've seen it before, so
I feel like every Lashley match that has happened recently has been one of the bottom matches every time that we watch a pay-per-view for me.
It really has been, but it's just because I feel like Lashley's not put in the position he needs to be right now.
Yeah,
Lashley's matches need to be kind of like Goldberg-ish. You need to
I worry that Sami Zayn's going to get squashed. If Titus O'Neil can get squashed, you really think Sami Zayn's not going to get squashed by this guy?
Difference being, Sami Zayn's a full-out heel. He's not a tweener like Bobby Lashley. He'll powder out. He'll cheat.
I get it, but Bobby Lashley took on Retribution by himself. Like they're making Bobby Lashley out to be this monster. And am I supposed to believe that somebody like Sami Zayn, like I like Sami Zayn, but am I supposed to really legitimately believe that after everything we have seen, he could take out or even come close to taking out Bobby Lashley? I just don't see it.
Let me ask you this. 2001, 2002, when Eddie Guerrero went face-to-face with Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania, after Brock Lesnar's huge push to the stars and back, would you believe that Eddie Guerrero was going to beat Brock Lesnar?
Difference being, Eddie Guerrero far higher up than Sami Zayn at that time. That's in comparison.
Fair. That is okay. Yeah, I got nothing.
I mean, Sami Zayn hasn't even been back that long.
No, you're right. I really think Sami's going to go the heel route on this match and cheat his way to a victory.
I mean, I'll be honest with you. I'd love it if he won the match. It'd be fantastic.
There's always the disqualification rule, though, too. He can get himself disqualified. I mean, that's not for titles anyway, but
yeah. What I think would be funny, really let him lean into his heel tactics, and like you were saying, just powder out all the time, just run away,
yeah.
just keep doing that. I think that make this match kind of go, and just kind of almost piss off Bobby Lashley. I think it would be hilarious to see.
I mean, who's to say something like Retribution won't get involved?
Yeah, I could see that. Maybe Retribution just takes out both of them, and it's and it's just a no contest or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it goes back to that whole equal opportunity thing you and I were talking about.
Exactly. I could see.
I mean, and then they just do the thing where they take the mic and they're like, "Hey, Sammy, nothing against you. You just happen to be here."
Yeah, and it would finally give them that one up on the Hurt Business. That they need if they're going to stay relevant.
Agreed.
The Hurt Business can't just continue to squash Retribution because all it's doing is destroying Retribution. That's all it's doing. That's all it's doing. It's burying them piece by piece. I don't. Yeah. So,
and my prediction for the men's. Well, we'll start with the women's. My prediction for the women's is probably going to be, as of right now, Team Raw is going to. They're not going to be able to coincide, but they're probably going to pick up the win because they've got
for the men. Even if Taker is on SmackDown, you think they're going to let SmackDown lose? You think
No,
they're gonna?
how
Do you
about
think
the
they're gonna
women?
give? You think they're gonna give the Taker an L for his last match if he's in it?
I'm talking about the women's Survivor Series.
Oh, you said men, so that's why I was.
No, I said women's.
Oh, okay. I thought you said men's when you.
I might have glitched, but no, definitely women's.
Okay.
I'm saying Raw has the stronger tag team, even though they can't. Dude, that tag team's full. Nia Jax has been putting people through tables. We're not even sure Mandy Rose is going to be cleared to fight.
Yeah, but Nia Jax has been putting Lana through tables, and Lana's on her team.
And that's my point. Like, we're going to see, God knows what we're going to see from that team. Now, men's Survivor Series team, SmackDown definitely picking up the win. Yeah. Especially if Taker's the mystery guy.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%, I think. And I'll be honest, if this isn't what happens, I'm going to be kind of disappointed. Just saying.
If it's not Taker, I honestly don't know who it could be.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
They're keeping it under wraps enough that they're still TBDing it. Like, why not reveal it?
Like, I understand there's still another Raw before the pay-per-view, so it could, or I mean, another SmackDown before the pay-per-view. So, like, theoretically, they could announce it on the Friday before.
They could, you're right.
I mean, I don't know. What's the point? Like, why is SmackDown? Because they're doing it with the women. There's still 2 TBDs on the women for SmackDown.
True.
Why is SmackDown being so cagey about who's on the teams? You know what I mean?
Like, what's going on? They're trying to counteract who Raw's picking.
Maybe. But Raw's teams are all fully picked. They could just tell us now. They could have told us tonight who all the other people were. They told us one person, but that was it. So I don't know. It's interesting. And finally, what is your thought on the fact that there's just no title matches? Like, I understand that almost all the titles are being defended, almost all the champions have matches.
Yes,
but there are still titles out there. I mean, you got 24/7 title, you got the women's tag team title, technically the women's tag champs. Yeah, probably. You know what? That's probably true. It's just weird to have no actual title matches, on a show, or even like a number one contender match, or something like that. Now maybe they'll surprise us, like you said. We'll get the Miz out there, and we'll actually technically get a title match. You know what I mean?
I mean, maybe at least tease at least.
Yeah. So it'll be. I feel like they really need to up the game of it, and make sure that the matches are really solid, since there's technically nothing on the line.
Well, like I said, I'm pretty sure it was either last year or the year before they started this, where it was pretty much a merge between bragging rights and Survivor Series, where it was pretty much Raw versus SmackDown, and I get it.
What would be cool is if all the matches accumulate points, and then the team with the most, like the brand with the most points, gets like a big trophy at the end. I mean, that'd be kind of neat. Something that actually makes all the matches kind of worth something. I mean,
yeah, it would definitely be different.
That's just a thought. It's just because, like I said, they don't seem like they're worth anything, because they're all just non-title matches. And then, I mean, obviously, bragging rights, but I mean, honestly, it's all it's all predetermined. So really, is it really bragging rights? Come on.
Well, no, but then at that point, though, you're putting your WWE Championship up against your Universal Champion, and you've either got to make Roman look weak, or Randy Orton's going to drop his title after having it for 2 weeks.
Oh, I'm not saying make these title matches or these champion matches title matches. I'm not saying that. I just think it's weird that we don't have anything.
I mean, I get that, but at the same time, like I said, I'm pretty sure it was either last year or the year before they started doing this. So
that's why I like the idea of a trophy, like a brand trophy. I like that idea, but that's just me. I'm weird that way. I want there to be something being actually fought for, as opposed to bragging rights, which are just not.
No, I mean, I get it.
Your bragging rights should be the trophy. Then you can actually show, see it? We can brag about it because I can show it to you.
Yeah.
And then, for a month, they have it displayed on episodes of Raw, and people will be like, "Yeah, suck it, SmackDown," or whatever. And then eventually it goes away, and we move on with our life.
Raw's got to be better.
Well, whoever,
Cool.
I just said that. Yeah,
I see you aligning with the red brand.
Going Raw, baby.
Yep.
But so I don't know. I'm pretty interested in what they do for Survivor Series. I think it'll be something. I don't know. We'll find out.
I can't wait to watch.
Yeah, we'll find out how it all goes down. And there's definitely some good matches waiting for us. So, but unless you got something else, that's going to wrap us up, Johnny Boy. You got anything else you want to add before we go?
Up, bro.
All right. So why don't you tell all the fans where they can find you on the interwebs?
Well, you can find me on Facebook. Obviously, I'm on Facebook. You can find me on Twitter at Simply Sane J1, like this says right here, right there. I am here at Off the Ropes with John and Josh because, Josh might get all the emails and stuff, but I can still hear about it and respond as well. So if you really want to hear about it, go ahead and reach out to us because we'd love to hear from you people. And that's pretty much where they can find me. Josh, where can they find you?
You can find me on Twitter at JP Raynor. That's JPRAYNOR. Or you can check me out at my site, Merc, with a movie blog right there at Movie Blog Merc. Do all kinds of cool shit over there. And I'd love for you to check us out. But also, be sure to check Off the Ropes out right down there at the bottom at Off the Ropes JJ on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. I made sure to keep it all the same there. And also right here on Anchor, if you're listening to this via a podcasting platform, you can actually leave us a voice message on Anchor, anchor.fm/offtheropesjj. Be sure to do that. And hell, sign up for our Patreon, patreon.com/offtheropesjj. We're going to be doing some pretty sweet videos if we get some patrons.
The Patreon isn't about the money. We want to interact with the fans.
Yeah, man, we're gonna do some cool shit for you guys. I'm excited. I don't want to do it for nothing. I just, for nobody. I want people to actually be able to watch it.
I'm like, it's not about the money, and Josh's like, I don't want to do it for
nothing. I meant for no one. I want people to watch it, and if it's on Patreon and there's no patrons, then no one's watching it. So sign up, even if it's for whatever the lowest tier is. I don't even remember. I think it's $3 or something like that. Whatever. But you get some good content. We'll make sure of that. All right. So be sure to do that. Again, Off the Ropes JJ on Twitter. You got questions? We might have answers. You got comments? We might give you the bird if we don't like it. I don't know.
You want to see me tell off WWE, AEW, Impact Superstars on Impact? Follow me on Twitter.
You want to see John tell off old ECW guys who have no respect? Check it out. Yeah, that's right. He did that. And if you're watching this, I don't care. Anyways, this has been episode 18 of Off the Ropes with John and Josh. I am Josh.
I'm John.
And we are down for the count. Catch you guys next time.